I'm Maria Schwartz, and welcome to the Winsidr Show, where it's all about the W. Opening weekend was full of highlights. It's time to discuss the happenings and what our take on the meaning of all of it is. My guest today is part of the Winsidr team, but enough chat. Let's cut to the basket. Before we get into today's show, just a quick reminder, Winsidr is fully independent WNBA coverage, and everything we do is supported by listeners like you. If you enjoy what we're doing here, you can help keep it going by joining our Patreon at patreon.com/Winsidr. That's patreon.com/Winsidr. With pricing levels for everyone, you're directly supporting the work we put into covering the W year round. We also have got a full team producing great written coverage at winsidr.com, plus more content than ever across TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're in the market for WNBA gear, check the affiliate links in the show notes and on winsidr.com. That's winsidr.com. You get to rep the league, and Winsidr gets a little support along the way. Welcome back to the Winsidr Show. Very excited to be here with Madisyn, a new Winsidr team member. Madisyn, how you doing? How's your it's your first opening weekend. It's a little bit crazier than most, but how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. It was definitely busy, trying to keep up with all the games, but it was very fun. Very fun.
You've been crushing on social media. Real quick, drop your social tags just so our listeners can make sure to follow you and get some amazing content during the season.
Yes. So you can follow me on X/Twitter at Maddie_Lanai. That's MADI_LANAI.
Awesome. Great. All right. Make sure you follow that. Now let's hop into it, because the real reason people are here is we want to talk WNBA opening weekend. A fun opening weekend. I had some qualms with the scheduling of like our opening weekend being the Sun Liberty. Obviously was going to be a blowout. It was a blowout. 106-75. It was pretty rough to watch at times. Then low-key an amazing game that I'm kind of mad at myself for not expecting as good of a game, but 68-65, the Mystics pull off the victory against the Tempo in their first home game. Heartbreak, came down to the end. There was opportunities, just couldn't get it done. Then the game that going into it, I kind of viewed as the game of the night. Obviously, I was wrong. Valkyries 91, Seattle Storm 80, and that's right, I said Valkyries. Shout out to one of our listeners who kept calling me out. I kept saying the Valkyrie last season. I will not do it again. We live and we learn. And then Saturday the 9th, we had Fever Wings with just a gunslinging 107-104. Wings beat the Fever. Obviously, Paige versus Caitlin. These two teams that both, I think, have high expectations for themselves. Maybe talking heads, elite basketball minds have different expectations than the teams do. But I think a very interesting, exciting game, especially considering how deep the Fever went in the playoffs last year. And it being such a different roster. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting game. The Fever had two opportunities. Caitlin had an opportunity to hit the shot. I mean, the Fever had their two best players have an opportunity. Their two best deep shooters, all right, to get that shot. Kelsey and Caitlin, neither of them able to hit it on two pretty clean looks. They lose. Then we had Mercury Aces, kind of a out. Did this outcome shock you? Mercury 99, Aces 66 on ring night. Did that shock you?
It definitely did. I know last year the Aces also had this thing where they were kind of bad in the first half of the season and they ramped it up. So I can't overreact too early, but it definitely was. I definitely didn't expect it to be that close. That far.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, I hear. I'm with you. It's annoying because I'll say this also. Shout out to the Diana Taurasi years when she was like a super impactful player. There was seasons where like the Mercury would just be stanky, like for most of the season, and then come that playoff push, they were a playoff bubble team. Now they're a playoff team. Then the playoffs come, and they're an intimidating team in the playoffs. And I feel like, annoyingly, we might be in a situation with the Aces again because they've proven time and time again. If they get into the playoffs, they're going to be, a force to be reckoned with. You have A'ja Wilson, who can literally put a whole roster on her back and carry her team to a championship multiple times. Like, people talk enough about A'ja Wilson's amazingness on the court, but I feel like the element that does not get talked about enough is her ability to put a team on her back. Like, it is so rare to have players that truly can just like take over I'm not like we have those from generation to generation, those players that do it. But what Asia Wilson has been able to do is just it almost doesn't feel real. It feels video game like at some points. All right, that's my rant for now. Then we had the Atlanta Dream 91, Minnesota Lynx 90 in a
Yeah.
nail biter, an intense game. We'll dive into that a little bit more when we talk Rookie of the Year talk. Chicago Sky 98 over the Portland Fire 83, their opening win. And then Sunday to close out opening weekend, Storm then bounced back and beat the Sun 89-82, a little bit closer than you would have liked maybe. Liberty in a close one, 98-93 in overtime against DC in DC. Keep in mind the Liberty, extremely shorthanded. Then the Aces bounce back and spank the Sparks 105-78. Then the Mercury bounce back to lose 79-95. So a lot of parity early on by some of these teams, which I respect, I love. Was there a specific game that kind of caught your eyes as, you know, we had some blowouts, we had some close matchups. What was your favorite game of the weekend?
I would definitely have to say the Mystics Tempo game. I mean, it was just first of all so awesome to see like the youngest team by age versus the youngest team by like tenure going into there. It's really cool. I mean, I just love watching the Mystics play. I think because they're so young, they play so fast. And Shakira Austin just came out the gate just firing off. It was awesome to see her down low. Of course, Kiki. I've been a fan of Kiki for forever because I go to Stanford. So before she transferred, I was a big fan. Still am. And yeah, it was great to see them. The tempo. I mean, I just didn't know what to expect at all. Obviously, it's their first game. Um, yeah, I mean, they definitely started off a little slow, just not making shots, not anything. But of course, Marina Mabry just when she needs to, she can put the ball in the hoop, and it was really cool to see. Um, yeah, that game was just I didn't expect it to be that close. Honestly, I mean, I don't know, it's the Tempo's first game, but yeah, it was just really cool to watch. I was trying to watch that game and the Liberty game at the same time, but eventually I just gave up. The Liberty game. There was no reason to watch that. I just had
Yeah,
to plug in on that one.
I'm with you on that. That was essentially basically what happened to me. Yeah, like obviously, look, I'm from Minnesota. That Lynx Dream game was really exciting, a lot to
Mhm.
watch, and like even away from my hometown biases, like the Dream are a team that are extremely interesting for me this season.
Yeah.
They have a lot of player. They almost feel like a roster that's just I don't I feel like someone's gonna take this the wrong way. That's missing that MVP player, and I don't want it to be taken in the wrong way. The thing that I'm saying is like they have all these really, really talented players. Ryan Howard, obviously a superstar. Alicia Gray, a superstar, obviously. Bree Jones, obviously a superstar. And they have others on their team too. Angel Reese, I don't think is my personal take is not on the level of those other players yet. She has individual skills that are mind-blowingly talented. Like I
Mhm.
swear the league needs to investigate if she has a magnet in her hand and planted on the ball or something. How she rebounds like that, I don't get it. But I don't think she's on that level yet. For me to put them in the conversation as true contenders, I need to see somebody step up into that next level of MVP level play.
Yeah.
Alicia Gray did it at times last season. My hot take, lukewarm take, whatever it is like we need to see that growth. Like I I think Alicia was just a hair under that level. And I think the choice now for this team, or not choice, but like the positive way that it could work for this team is either somehow, I mean, look, she keeps getting better and better and better, but somehow Alicia makes that next jump
Mhm.
just that hair higher into that true MVP contention level. I'm not talking like, oh, we have to list 5 players, she's included. I'm saying like she is like, you're including my name.
Mhm.
Or Ryan Howard finally makes that leap. And you know, smarter basketball minds that I've talked to keep shooting me down like, dude, Ryan's gotten to the point where she is. I still think this is my last year for her to prove it before I accept that she is the player that we see in front of us. And we're not growing that much more. Like, it's not a bad thing, but like eventually a player becomes who they are. And that was a tough one. But I
Yeah.
want to play a fun little game. That was like a whole crazy rant, whatever. Teams that surprised you. team. It does like we're 1 game in, 2 games in, maybe. This doesn't need to be I think they're winning a championship. But this is teams that played better than maybe you expected them to. And I'm going to give some love to the Chicago Sky, looking good at points, getting a nice win, 98-83. Obviously, similar to what you were saying about the tempo. First game, young team, completely new roster, completely new coach. I think the tempo have a leg up versus the Fire in the sense of
Mhm.
having that vet presence on the roster, but also having that vet coach who's been around the W block for a while. Um, so I got to say that the Sky were kind of impressive. And then obviously always some love to the Minnesota Lynx. A lot of young players really shining bright for them. Chikova and obviously Olivia Miles. What about you? Was there a team or two that kind of sticks out in your mind from opening weekend that just played a little bit better or a lot better than you expected?
Yeah. I mean, sorry. Um,
No, you're good.
I mean, obviously the Sun started off really poorly, but I think in that second game against the Storm, I was actually pretty surprised, like you said, by how close that game was. Anissa Morrow she was having a game. I think 17 and 16 is really
Something like that.
crazy.
Yeah.
Haley Van Lith had a few good moments. I just thought their offense, I mean, they still need like that one offensive motor to really go through because they can't really depend on BG for that. And I think Anissa Morrow definitely can be that throughout the season, and I think she showed that um this weekend. So yeah, I was pretty surprised by how they were able to keep up with the Storm in that game. That was a pretty good one to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a really good point.
yeah. And
Keep
then
going.
other than them, I'd say, I mean, I'm not sure if I'm surprised. I feel like the Wings, I definitely obviously very high on them this season. I think they're going to have an amazing season, but honestly, I didn't expect them to come out the gate that hot. I know in preseason they beat the Fever and that was a pretty nice game, but I mean, yeah, things were just looking like they were flowing in a way that they definitely weren't last year, and obviously they have a new coach and all these new pieces, but yeah, it was nice to watch. I'm very excited to watch them this season.
They're going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really interesting to kind of see what we see throughout the season from them.
Mhm.
Um, okay, so now on the flip side, because you know me, I can't just be all
Mhm.
positive and rainbows and sunshine. We got to play hot or fraud. I'll list a team that is off to a hot start,
Mhm.
hasn't lost yet, and you tell me, do you think they're an actual? And I'll tell also, like I'm not just going to put you on the spot. Nick, you do it. I'll do it also. In fact, I'll be happy to go first if you want. Um, We'll start with the Sky because I just complimented them. And, anytime I compliment a team, I gotta throw a little bit of shade. I'm going fraud. They obviously first game going up against an inexperienced franchise. Then they have the Lynx, Golden State, and the Mercury. They're playing the Lynx a lot. I think like 3 times in this month. Um,
Mhm.
so we'll definitely see, and I think that Lynx Sky game will be interesting because we'll learn more about these teams that maybe will be closer in the standings than maybe some expected. What's your thoughts, Sky?
Yeah, I'm also gonna have to go with fraud. I mean, they obviously have a great roster with great players and pieces, but yeah, I'm just not sold. I think probably just because that first game was against the Fire, and yeah, I don't think you can take anything out. You can take anything from that really, and yet I think the Valkyries game will be really interesting. I don't know if I see them winning that one. So yeah, we'll see. Like you said, yeah, we'll definitely see, but I'm not sold just yet.
All right, all right. Now moving on, the Dream, they're 1-0. Are they frauds or are they hot? For the end, keep in mind the games they have coming up are Wings, Aces, Wings. Those are the next 3 games they got. Me personally, I'm going fraud. I think this team is actually going to struggle a lot. Maybe it won't necessarily show up in the wins losses. I think it will, but maybe it won't. I think they're going to struggle a lot till Bree Jones gets back.
Mhm.
Angel Reese is growing. She looks much better than she did last year. And last year she looked better than the year before that. The thing is that they are missing that true size, that true paint presence. I mean, Bree Jones was in MVP discussions, is a perennial all-star when she can stay healthy.
Mhm.
And she really allows this team to play a lot of different styles of basketball. but I just think it gives them that anchor. And so for me right now, until I see Bree Jones get back,
Mhm.
because that's my theory, I'm calling frauds. What about you?
Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna go with hot. I
All
I
right.
I agree with everything that you're saying for sure, but I think I don't know. I just there's something there. I mean, they definitely didn't play their best basketball against the Lynx in that game. But I do think just like the spacing of that team, they're really going to be hard to guard with Angel down low and obviously Alicia and Ryan shooting the three. I think they can definitely be dangerous. I do agree that I need to see it, but for now, I'm gonna say that I'm a believer. I'm a believer.
Okay, let's go. Last two teams we have New York Liberty. They're 2-0. I'm going hot. And to make things even crazier. I mean, all right, look, like let's say it this way. New York and Golden State, they're both 2-0. They're the last two teams. I have them both as hot. I just want to bring this up. If you look at Tankathon, strength of remaining schedule, they are 14th, 15th on the strength of remaining schedule. Now, obviously, look, it's early in the season. Everyone's playing everyone essentially the same amount of times. There's timings, there's other things that go into it. Let's start with the New York Liberty. Um, their next games, excuse me, Liberty versus the Fire. Then they play the Fire again, and then they have a nice little break until they play the Valkyries. So, but that's not until the 21st. So we got some time. Keep in mind, we're recording on Tuesday. I know there's going to be a few games in between next time we play, but Liberty, hot or fraud?
Absolutely hot. I mean, I'm probably a little biased. I am a Liberty fan myself, but I mean, I just think there's I feel like there's gonna be no stopping this team. Like if they keep playing like this. Obviously, we have to see how it works with Sabrina coming back and if they're gonna put MJ on the bench or how that's gonna work. But I mean, um, yeah, I mean, Marine Johannes has been playing out of her mind. She's just been shooting like she's just been amazing, and I think I'm really happy to see her in this new role this year. I think that she just needed kind of that investment, that green light to shoot, and I think that now that she has it, we see what she can do and what she has been capable of doing this whole time. Obviously, still a MVP caliber player, and I think she's showing that. And like you said, of course, the strength of schedule. We haven't really seen them be tested yet, but I really do believe that they will. I think that Valkyries game will definitely be really interesting, but I see the Liberty taking it.
It's gonna be interesting. Like I see the Liberty taking it. I also think it'll be maybe the first two chests for the Liberty.
Yeah.
It end all be all. Like it's gonna be really interesting for this Liberty team as this season goes on because when things go positive, I'm sure we all saw it on social media. It's gonna be, oh man, this new coach has allowed this player to do
Mhm.
this, this, and that. Then when things don't go positively, it's going to be this is a new coach who doesn't have that experience.
Right.
Um, and look, there's historically new coaches. I remember a friend did like a study maybe like 5 years ago, and like if a team recycles an existing head coach, brings them back in to be a head coach versus if they bring in a completely new person
Mhm.
to be a head coach. And in the first like 5 years, the new head coach does so much better than the head coach who had been a head coach before. And I think there's a lot to it. It's kind of like when a rookie comes in the league or like you have to
Mhm.
adjust. You need to get film. You need to understand what that coach is trying to do, what that coach strengths and weaknesses are, and that takes some time. So I think that'll be really interesting with the Liberty and obviously also with this roster. It's going to be super curious how things work out. I'm ranting so much, so I apologize. Golden State Valkyries, they get their first, they beat the Storm, like we said, 91-80, handled it. Then take on the Mercury and really handle that one, also 95-79. It got closer at one point, but then it just was not close.
Mhm.
They are going to then play the Sky and then the Liberty. So they only have two games for the next like 12 days. When you look at the Valkyries, what do you think? Are they hot? Are they fraud? I went into this season, I'll be honest, with the Gabby edition and everything, I'm still concerned about size. I thought the team was going to have a sophomore slump.
Mhm.
I'm questioning that early.
Yeah.
What's your take?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with hot as well. I think what I've seen off the bench is really what's pushing me to that answer. I think Caitlin Chen has made a huge leap. I know there was all that controversy about who should have been cut. I do think that the team there made the right decision. I think it's very clear that Caitlin Chen and Emma Hare have made those leaps. And Chen especially has really shown that she can come off the court, give Veronica Burton that break that she needs, and she can produce offensively in a way that I haven't seen her do last year, that I hadn't seen her do last year. I also think, yeah, I mean, Gabby Williams, she did struggle a bit in that Storm game, but I think she got into the flow of it against the Mercury. And I mean, her defense, I think their whole team identity is very, of course, surrounded just defense, defense, defense. And I think she fits in perfectly to that. I definitely do agree about the size. I think we'll see how that happens. Like, I think they will struggle against the Liberty for that reason, right? Like Stewie and JJ, I don't know who they're really gonna have guarding either of those two players very effectively. Um I think we'll see how that goes, but I definitely think, I mean, Burton has been off to a great start as well. Very great pass first point guard, of course. And I think, yeah, that bench unit is really going to propel them to that next level this season.
All right, now moving on to our next topic for the episode, the calls and the no calls. All right, if you watch opening weekend, you know that these games were super long. I think Stewie said that their game was like almost 3 hours, just shy of
Mhm.
3 hours, which, maybe doesn't sound that crazy, but you can kind of like, it used to be at least set your clock to WNBA games being 2 hours or under. Um, essentially, like it comes down to there's been obviously a lot of complaining about the officiating throughout many years. This is not something new in the W. It obviously came to a head in recent years. You have Nafisa Collier going down with an injury in the playoffs. You have a variety of other things. You can go back to a few years before that when the call on or Stewie gets the call, 5 seconds left to win that series, to win a championship. There's been so many talking points, but heck, I even think back to it was probably at this point like 8, 9 years ago at this point. Um, and I'm blanking on who the player was, but a player who English was not her first language was trying to get attention of a ref, tapped them on the shoulder to like explain very politely and in like the most like
Mhm.
calm demeanor ever. I don't think that was a foul. The ref teed her up for tapping him on the shoulder. It was an insane thing. And I don't bring that up to like throw shade at anybody, but just to say like this has been an ongoing problem for a very long time.
Yeah.
And like I'm all for better officiating. We can get into that. I blame the NBA. That's a whole different discussion. But Queen Fee herself obviously has been very vocal. Maybe the most vocal, opposition party, we could say that, in the league towards the front office of the league in some ways. Whatever,
Mm.
let's cut to the chase. Fee had some comments, and her comments, and it seems like almost that these are being implemented. Not like she made these comments. I'm not saying that it was Fee's comments that implemented them. I'm saying Fee made these comments, and the calls have been through the roof. So it seems like there's been some sort of implementation of it. The lines went to the effect of the game should be catered to the offensive player. I do feel like the game is too physical right now. You come to watch players play offense and score. So when it's so physical, the game is not fun to watch and it's not fun to play. Um, I have a hard disagree with Fee on this personally. I really appreciate defense. One of the things that I love about the W compared to other basketball leagues is the intensity from start to finish. That was hate in like intended towards a different basketball league that I don't like to talk about. Um, and I don't go just to watch offensive players score. I go to watch good basketball players play good basketball players. I
Mhm.
want to see, Nafisa, who scores 50 points a game, get shut down by a
Mhm.
lockdown defender. I want to see Asia Wilson go up against the best defender in the league and still drop a 30-piece triple double. Like that, I want to see that. And I understand, her understanding of this, or maybe she's speaking from a place of, look what we did with Unrivaled. We centered it around offense. We made this an offensive heavy league. And I get that, but that's not the W. And like, I don't want this to be what we have seen like, and I hate bringing in other leagues into this, but like what we've seen in almost every other professional sports league is this idea of instant gratification that all we
Mhm.
want to see is the deep three ball and the celebration. I love seeing a deep three ball and a celebration. I love seeing, an 80-yard touchdown. I don't love seeing it if you make it impossible for the defender to stop it. I don't like when you change the rules to cater it to one player having an advantage. Make it an even playing field and battle it out. That's my way too long rant. Feel free to disagree with me. What's your thoughts?
No, I totally agree. I think, yeah, when I saw the video, I think the catering of it all was really what rubbed me the wrong way. 'Cause I don't think the refs should be catering it either way. I think the refs should be
Yes.
calling what happens, right? And not making it about anything, any narrative. The refs should be there to call fouls when they happen. That's it. What they shouldn't be there to do is extend games to 3 hours because
Mhm.
JJ puts her hip out a little bit when she's pivoting, right? Like that's I think that those calls like that are just unacceptable, right? And I think obviously there is something to be said about physicality. I think there are ways to combat physicality if that really is a true issue for the players. And I know, like, I think safety is obviously the number one priority, but that doesn't mean that we have to change the entire way the game is played to then cater to, yeah, these offensive performances that are fun to watch for people that don't like basketball, right? But
Mhm.
they're not fun to watch for people who have been watching basketball, or people who have played basketball. People who have played basketball, especially, watching that great defense is so fun because you know how it feels to get locked up like that, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's such a different experience. And I think, yeah, if someone's just turning on the channel just to see what they want to see, right? Like, okay, maybe it might be a little more fun, but honestly, not even, because what we've seen isn't even like these crazy offensive performance. What we've been seeing is games stopped every 2 minutes. So that's not fun to watch either, right? Like, no
Mhm.
teams have been able to get into a flow. Like, the Liberty versus Mystics game. I mean, they played a great game, but I mean, JJ and I think Han both fouled out, right? Like, it's not fun to watch when the best players can't get on the floor. um,
Right.
so yeah, I think, yeah, I don't think the game should be catered in any specific way. I think the issue, if 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 Fee's comments were about the consistency of officiating, I would 100% agree, right? I think there are big consistency issues with what gets called for who versus others. But that doesn't mean that we should just be introducing this whole new system to then cater to these offensive performances.
No, I'm 100% with you. And yeah, and I completely agree. Like, look, I'm not saying I want a physical game that endangers the players. I'm all for reducing the physicality to a safer standard. I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of the physicality that's completely dangerous and uncalled for, and I'm all for that. But like you said, I think you much more eloquently pointed out what I was trying to say, which is it's that catering. It's that, like, no, we're not catering to like and honestly, like, that idea, it triggers this, like, not a conspiracy theorist of mine, but like that idea of, like, the refs are catering to somebody already. That the
Right.
refs in a game, like, when we watch, a team down 10 all of a sudden start getting all these calls, I'm not sitting here going, "Oh, that ref wants this team,"
Right.
but when we start talking about catering towards something or like finding a loophole in the game that is always going to get you to the free throw line, that's when it's like, okay, come on now. What are we doing? Like, you're encouraging whatever. We spent too much time on that.
Right.
Close out this episode. Last talking point, the Roy Rookie of the Year race. I feel like it's one of those few topics that you can have a little bit more of a detailed discussion early on in the season in terms
Mhm.
of awards. We can't talk about, like, okay, yeah, we can talk about who we think are going to win the championship. We can talk, but what does that mean based on the few couple games? We can
Right.
talk about MVP. What does that mean based on a few couple games? Like, there's probably like 30 players who statistically are in the range to be the MVP right now. But like,
Mhm.
that's ridiculous. We can't do that. Same with all these other awards, sixth player, defense player of the year. Um, but rookie of the year is much more in tune, in my opinion, on early on in the season.
Mhm.
And feel free to disagree with me at any point, agree with me, add players, whatever. The three people that I kind of have in my mind that are leading the way for Rookie of the Year currently. And I'm not saying this in any special order. Olivia Miles, she's played 1 game. She had 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 21 points. She did have 3 turnovers. And if I'm being real, some rookie moments late in that game on the pressure full court press defense, but also in those last moments, she had 2 opportunities to win it and was not able to. Okay, then we move on to Flau'jae Johnson. Big 4. 14 points so far in her 2-game average. 2 games, 14-point average, shooting 40% from 3, 27.3 from the field, excuse me. 1.5 assists per game and 4 rebounds per game and 2 steals per game. So stuff in the stat sheet, a variety of different ways. Also, I feel like she's a player who's going to get a lot of run this season, a lot of opportunity, just given the team that she's on to be this Rookie of the Year. And then maybe this is like a cop-out. Maybe this is just ridiculous. I just have to give some love to Jovana Nogic, who's doing some crazy stuff so far this season. Just insane what she has been able to do. Like, she's 100% from the free throw line. Let me see real quick. She's in her 2 games, she's shooting 10 of 14. She's 8 for 10 from 3. And 2 of 4 from the rest of the field. She has 5 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers. Fine. She scored 35 points. She's just been balling for the Mercury. Maybe in a few weeks she won't be in this discussion, but I feel like we got to give some love to a player who's been balling out in those early 2 games. Is there anybody else on your mind that I made a mistake and should be embarrassed that I forgot to mention?
That was my exact list, honestly. So
okay,
no,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Any input on any of those that I'm missing out? I feel like, I don't know. What's your take? What are you thinking?
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, talking on the Flau'jae point, I definitely agree that she's going to get a lot of run. I think Coach Rahman has really bought into the Flau'jae experiment. You see she's handling the ball a lot. She clearly has a green light to shoot. Even when some of the shots aren't in the best shot selection, I like, Coach Rahman clearly has trust in her and allows her to make those shots and not take her out immediately. And yeah, she just brings that engine to the Storm offense, I think. I mean, I think her and Malonga will really, really ramp it up and really be able to play fast, get out fast. And yeah, I mean, they have a nice few guards there. So it'll be interesting to see how she shares the floor with them. But I think that they've definitely bought in. So why shouldn't we?
I'm with you.
Yeah, I think Miles, I think she just passes the eye test. Like, even, I know they lost on that block, but the pass to get it down there, to get that shot down there, to then be blocked, was just like that type of vision. You just don't see that really often in rookies. So yeah, I'm sold. I mean, it's only 2 games, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. No, with Flau'jae, I'm like, because obviously I got to flip it on the other side of the coin. With Flau'jae, I look at it and I'm like, okay, she's going to get the opportunity. But my Flau'jae stock dropped this past season at LSU. So, like, now it's less of I have her in that high expectation. I expect her to fulfill it. Now it's, can she get back to that level? Because if she can get back to that level, then I think 100%. And she's going to have the opportunity. But it's, can she deliver? And then with Olivia Miles, and like, these are the things in my mind that's going to kind of be the detractor, the thing that's going to hold them back. With Olivia Miles, like, it's defense. Like, I completely agree with you. Offensively, I see the vision, right? She has like 50-50 vision or whatever is better than 2020. Like, her court vision's insane. I see that. I get that. The team's going to take time, similar to Caitlin Clark before, similar to past players where it takes time to get that flow, that understanding of each other, to be in the right place to catch the pass, because these passes are crazy. You see it with Chelsea Gray also. New players struggle to receive the pass because of how insanely delivered it is. They make Amazon look embarrassing. And like, on the other end, the part that I feel like has been a little bit ignored with the Olivia Miles, the Olivia Miles show, was she was the one who got played on that game-winning bucket.
Right.
That, like, she bit on that deep 3 when they're up 2 or they're up 1.
And
and then gets burned past her. So like that's the full experience where you see that beauty and that perfection offensively and like, oh, she was right there and blocked.
right.
Right. But let's not forget about that other side. It's the defensive end that Olivia Miles needs to step up in if she truly wants to be rookie of the year. And then Nogic, I mean, we'll get there, but I mean, it's just insane what she's been doing. It's
I know, it's
ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. All right. Well, I appreciate you for taking all your time today. It's been a fun episode. Hopefully we'll have you back again. I enjoyed chatting hoops with you. And to close out this episode, I just want to say thank you to our listeners and supporters. You make independent WNBA coverage possible. We have been doing this for a long time, and it only works because of this community. So we're very appreciative. And remember, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Winsidr. There's exclusive content over there. But if you don't want exclusive content, it's just a great way to support us and what we're doing. Have a good one.